Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astro Guide Mysore. So today we are discussing the negatives of the Rahu Maha Dasha. So Rahu period is for 18 years and it is split into three parts. The first major toughest part is the first three periods of Rahu Jupiter and Rahu Saturn. This is for people who are going through a negative Rahu Mahadasha, not for everybody. So some people, Rahu Dasha is one of the best dashas in their life. They would have seen fantastic, lifestyle changes, and they would have grown very high in their positions. But for people where Rahu is badly posited, and from Rahu, if the planet which is the Antardasha planet, that is the sub-period planet, is like, let us say, Jupiter or Saturn, is placed in the 6th or the 8th from Rahu, then starts the problem. The 6, 8, 12 position of planets from any Dasha Lord will not be giving favorable time period for the native. So, the first three are Rahu, Jupiter, and Rahu, Saturn. These are huge periods. So here, a person can go through financial distress, very tough time. Rahu, Saturn can give problems of misunderstanding, humiliation. We call it as physical and mental agony. I'm just giving you a brief, then I'll go into the details. So the Rahu, Jupiter can give financial distress, unnecessary sale of property where you will not be able to retain it. The banks will start troubling us and we will have to forcibly sell the property to satisfy the loan because the incomes would have suddenly dwindled. So these are all problems of Rahu, Jupiter and Rahu, Saturn. These are the first three, Rahu, Jupiter and Saturn within the Mahadasha of Rahu. Then we have Rahu Mercury, Rahu Ketu, and Rahu Venus. We call this period as a period of social instability. That is, a person doesn't know what to stick to, whom to talk to, whether to believe this person or not. So there is a chance that he can be conned, going through some bad calculations of investment, Rahu Mercury, going through unnecessary emotional anxiety, Rahu Ketu, going through relationship problems, particularly problems of diseases pertaining to the hidden parts, that's the procreative parts of our body. So that is Rahu, Venus. So we call that as, transmitted diseases. So next comes the other three, that is Rahu Sun, Rahu Moon, and Rahu Mars. Rahu Sun, all these are identity problems. That is, the ego will play an important negative role in the negative cases with regard to family relationships with the father, with mother in Rahu Moon, or if there is a bad placement where the ego or mental fluctuations don't play, there will be like some problems in the family with regard to the longevity or hospitalization of parents. This can happen in Rahu Sun and Rahu Moon, which is again not that great when it is badly posited. So from each other, like for example, if Rahu and Moon are placed in 6-8, Rahu Sun are placed in 6-8, we will have problems with regard to hospitalization or with regard to any acute sudden diseases or some strokes or something like that happening to parents. So Rahu Mars is actually a okay normal period if both the planets are well posited. This is the only period in which actually things will be a little better compared to all the period of Rahu, and Rahu Mars are two periods which are like Rahu is getting ready for the Rahu Dasha, and Rahu Mars is like final, adieu to Rahu Dasha, and we are going into the Jupiter Mahadasha. So let us go into the details. Why does a person go through physical stress or physical strain in this period? Is because unnecessary load of work will increase. He will be given too much of load, or you will have a bad boss over you who will try to put stress. Like a person who has family at home, who has young kids at home, will be forcibly asked to come in odd shifts, when he will not be able to give his time to the family, so he will go through too much of stress. But with all the stress, people will be doing their jobs, because finding a job would become difficult in the Rahu Mahadasha, and they would not want to risk coming out of the jobs, and who will pay the EMIs. So it's mostly seen that the initial period of the Rahu Dasha would be the most difficult thing. That is Rahu Jupiter, and Rahu Saturn. See, the middle period, as I said, would be like you can slowly try to understand the Rahu Dasha and try to come to control it, if the free will can think about how to come to senses with the Rahu Dasha. So the last period is tough, but you can handle it. Those are the dashas where, Rahu Moon, Rahu Sun, and Rahu Mars are, going to take place. So the stress level in the Rahu Dasha is too high. So we call this as the Mlecha planet, or the Pishacha planet, or something which is alien. And that is why the Pishacha Yoga, which is normally quoted in all the texts, Rahu and Saturn, is also, from, I call it as Paishachika Yoga. That I don't directly call it as Pishacha Yoga. I call it as Paishachika. That is, it's a derivative of that yoga, wherein you will feel alienated from your own family. You will feel alienated. You will feel alone. You will feel that you have been neglected by your own parents. This type of feeling happens in the Rahu Dasha. So, not the whole of the dasha, some part of the dasha, wherein if it is family which is alienating you, that means you will have a bad Rahu in the second house or with the second lord. So, let us not go into that much of intricacies. We will do it with regard to advanced level, where we will take each chart and tell you what actually is happening. So, Rahu in the 8th and the 12th house. The 6th house is left out, because the 6th house is a very good placement for Rahu for its Mahadasha. So the 8th and the 12th gives most tough time, because the 8th house is desires of a human being, and when Rahu is placed there, and if it is negatively placed, it will make your desires go in circles. You will not be able to achieve any of them, and you will always be in a constant mode where you feel uncertainty is reigning. It is, uncertainty is what is happening continuously. So in the 12th house, you will feel that you are unnecessarily spending too much money on wasteful gadgets, wasteful travels, and hospitalization. So that is why the 12th house is also very tough. So what actually it does, we have put it in words. So some negative aspects are that it gives mental pain, marital discord, divorce and separation from children, people who are earning to have even one visit. So many fathers call me telling that, my wife took my kid away, and I have not seen my kid for past 2 years. So is there any chance? So please do not do that to anybody. If even it is how much ever animosity you have on your partner, taking a kid away from either parent, even the mother or the father, is actually a very bad karma which will come to you. So do not get into that karma. See that at least see that the kid needs the parent. There might be 101 differences between you both, that is the husband and the wife, but the kid needs the parent, both the parents. So now that's one request from my end, that at least parental love should be there, whatever the differences you people have. Until unless the one of the parent itself is having a bad record, a drunkard, abuse, physical abuse. I have not spoken to many people who are having that. I have spoken to only one or two cases out of thousands. Thousands of cases of separation. People are suffering psychologically that they are not able to meet their kid because the other parent would have put many other law, junction, so many what we call as um, yeah, limitations in meeting through the law. So separation from children or elders or parents, court and legal cases which might be mostly humiliating, and in cases where it is Rahu Saturn and Rahu Ketu, there might also be imprisonment depending on the case to case. It cannot be said that it is applicable to everybody. No, it is not applicable to everybody. Disappointments, failures, setbacks with regard to our own, expectations. We have, we will have charted out our calendar that in the year so and so I should have been there. You're not there. You have a setback. You are somewhere down below somewhere. So these things will happen in the Rahu Dasha. So injuries by accidents, I have checked out many cases where Rahu Dasha and Venus Bhukti gives a lot of accidents. So be a little careful in that period. Fire and weapons, accidents through because of fire and weapons. We have seen cases which are continuously coming online where children are unnecessarily getting into fire and weapon accidents. This is also because of the Mars and Sun and Saturn which come into play within the Rahu Maha Dasha. Debts, particularly debts. You should be aware that when a person is getting into the Rahu Dasha, don't get into huge debts. You should have at least a 5-year good period in front of you before you take debts. When you make debts, you should know that there should be a smooth period in front of you. So that is what astrologers do. Whenever they see the chart, we usually tell that do not start your business now. Why? Because you would have taken a loan to start your business. 2 years it's running well, and suddenly now you are now coming into Rahu Saturn. Because Rahu Jupiter, you started the business. Rahu Saturn, you are like, sir, it's not running for next 3 years. What should I do? Where should I go? How will I pay? So it is like, you get into a vicious circle of, like a whirlpool of problems. Never unnecessarily get into debts before thinking that you do have a smooth period in ahead, like a strong period in the Rahu Dasha. So thefts, cheating. I told you about the cheating, that there know people can con people who are having weak or debilitated or badly placed Rahu. Loss of money, unwanted heavy expenditure on paying bills for hospitalization, and doubts. This is very important. A behavior of getting into anxiety, stress, and doubts over relationship, spouse, and married life. This is a very important factor to understand why the marriage is breaking. Unnecessary doubts. So that should not be there. The intention should be understood, and the intention should be always taken as the first motto of the native, rather than going into what happened after what the person did. So a lot of negatives are there, like you believe into some partners in business, and you would have started the business, and after the business is done with, you have running the business, and after 3 years you come to know that your business partners have backstabbed you. So this can happen. So that is why whenever you are in the Rahu Dasha, be doubly careful as to whether you should start a business or not. People who are working can go through unnecessary demotion. People, see, it might not be that you have done a mistake. It might also be that the people, the colleagues what whom you are working with, may not like you or your progress. So that can happen, and unnecessarily going from one place to another place due to transfers, that can also happen. So accusations, inquiries, suspensions can be seen in the Rahu Dasha. These are all negatives what I am talking. Humiliation, difficulty for the relationship with regard to your friend, your lover, your spouse, and also your children is seen. So be a little careful in the Rahu Dasha, because the nakshatra where Rahu is posited. I'll give you 2-3 examples. If Rahu is posited in Shatabisha nakshatra, I don't have any problem, because it's its own nakshatra and it is happy there. It's very happy there. What if Rahu is posited over Kritika nakshatra? Either in Mesha Rashi where Kritika Pada 1 is there, that is first quarter, or in Vrishabha Rashi where 2, 3, 4 quarters are there, just before the exaltation point of Rahu. Point of exaltation is Mrigashira Nakshatra. But what if Rahu is placed over Kritika Nakshatra? Kritika Nakshatra is of sun. It's a very hot nakshatra. It's a krura nakshatra. It's a very cruel nakshatra. That is why it is not used for any muhurta. Kritika nakshatra and Bharani nakshatra are not used for muhurtas. Like fixing auspicious, electing auspicious dates for marriages, and also for sacred functions. We don't use Bharani and Kritika. We only use Bharani nakshatra for sowing seeds in the soil, tilling the soil. That is why we tell Bharani is for Dharani. So when you till the soil, you go to any village, when people tell that, sun is moving into Bharani Nakshatra, that rain is a good rain for South India, and you till the soil and you sow soil. Because that is the time when you can till the soil, you can make the soil dry so that the weeds will all die, and then you get the real rains, in the month of May. Because Bharani Nakshatra will come by the starting of May, and by the end of May, you will get the monsoon in India. So these are all factors which have been mundanely, mundane astrology has been a huge reference point, like a calendar for farmers. But Bharani Nakshatra and Kritika Nakshatra, we don't do any Shodasha karmas, like naming ceremonies, entering into a house, like housewarming. We don't do all that. We don't get married on Bharani Nakshatras. Why? Because that is not a great nakshatra, and in that nakshatra, if you are having Rahu in Kritika nakshatra, ego will become the most difficult factor for relationships and regular managing your life. Because if you do not have good social relationship, how can you be in a society? You will feel alone and you will be always neglected or ignored. So false pride and ego are the negative factors of Rahu, which are the prime negative factors of Rahu, which hit. So, Rahu, as per the um, nature, because when I said about Mars, I told it's a fiery in nature. Moon, I told it is phlegmatic. Chandra, Surya, I told it is fiery or Pitta. Pitta, Vata, Pitta, Kapha are there. So Rahu is more of Kapha and Agni. So Agni, that is Pitta and Kapha mixed. So Rahu will give more kind of diseases, in the sense like you have ailments of immune systems in that particular dasha, rheumatoid arthritis, you have joint pains, muscle weaknesses, myositis, you have the heart uh, going through different kinds of problems, because Rahu sitting over the sun's nakshatra, or sun very close to Rahu, and if they are posited in the 6th or the 8th or the 12th, a person can go through problems of the heart, like bypass, stents, and etc. So when we talk about Rahu Dasha and the diseases, there are a lot of diseases which contain impurities as the major factor, or toxicity as the major factor for the disease. Like cancer doesn't just come like that, and nobody will be able to predict that a person will get cancer on that particular day or it starts. It is a very slow process where it slowly accumulates, toxics accumulate, and because of that particular accumulation, the tissues will start becoming rebellistic, some cells will become rebel cells, and that will start giving you tumors, cysts, and etc., which will start growing in size. That is because of Rahu and Jupiter both playing in tandem. So Rahu Dasha, we should understand that if we are more sattvic in nature, So we all know that you if you have to put culture in a lab, you culture the bacteria in a lab to do to grow the bacteria, to understand what bacteria it is, to make the culture, you use agar, that is as good as sugar. So the sugar in the body is the most dangerous factor for Rahu Dasha. So if you stop sugar, oil, less, use less oil, less sugar, and moderately you get into other, indulgences like coffee and tea, you will only then be able to curb the difficulties of health which might fall in place in the Rahu Dasha. It should not fall in place. We don't want the difficulties to be on time. We want to delay that. And we can delay it by practicing sattvic practices. Give argya to the sun, that is water to the sun. At least sit in the morning, see the sunrise. If you are not able to see the sunrise, because some people are staying in such places where you have high rise buildings, you can't see even sun till midday at 11 o'clock. So at the time of sunrise, sit facing towards east, do a small chanting, or simply close your eyes and do silent meditation for half an hour. These are the best things which can actually elevate you from the problems of Rahu Maha Dasha. And the second most important thing is Rahu becomes active at night. So you reduce your night activity, Rahu will cool down, or it will not trouble you much. You are awake at night doing something or the other, you will be having excuses that you have examinations, you have a lot of work, you have a bad shift. Whatever it is, Rahu will start climbing over all problems, and it will start pulling it inside your body, mind, and soul. So, confidence, healthy body, and a healthy mind is required for a healthy person. So, you need to know how to tackle Rahu. Thank you. God bless you.